When you're looking at a big flat like this, it just seems like the whole thing's one big flat and it's all the same, and it's never that way. And there's always these little buckets that are in there, and you're gonna try to go up and just find and it might only be 6 or 8 inches deeper than the rest of it, but it'll always be where your fish are hanging out. And of course, you're gonna be on the edges of the fast and the slow. I'm not gonna be able to fish the other side of this one. I'm gonna come right up this edge. I'm gonna look for these little soft buckets like that. And then as I move up, I'm gonna get up to the very top, just work through it kind of quick, and I'll get up to those boulders and we'll fish the buckets, because every time you have a boulder, you're gonna have a depression behind it from the water plunging over it. Just keeps chewing away the bottom, you know, and so behind every boulder, you're gonna have a convergent seams with a nice deep bucket. We'll get up there, hit that. Hopefully we'll get some fish set up on this outside in this bigger flat here. Really good spot to land fish. So, and it's usually a pretty big holding area because of that center seam where it is deep, where the islands come down, where all the water converges. You got one kind of main seam there. That's making a real deep pocket. There's a nice little green bucket right there. Want to watch for every single rock that's a little bigger than the rest of the bottom. Make sure one goes on every side of that rock. Notice I start in close and then I just move it out. When you see water like right there where my indicator just hit, when there's a lot of lift, when you see the water looking like it's pushing from the bottom up, it's usually not good holding water. If there's something that's making the bottom, you know, big boulder, when you see that lift right there, that's usually telling you that there's a lot of push from the bottom. Something's lifting the water up, and it's very seldom a good spot to find fish. There's just too much hydraulic trying to constantly push the fish to the top, and it's a real low percentage shot. You want to get to the sides of those. I love that green color, that little greeny water. But there's just a bunch of little buckets in that run. My indicator's right in the foam line. See that dark rock out there? I love color changes. It's camo for them. They can sit by that stuff and nothing can see them. I'm just gonna do a little pocket water shooting here. I'm gonna hit this boulder, a couple down here. We're just gonna keep hitting a few. Show you different examples of it. What I've got here is I've got my weight below my fly. I've got this one eye to eye, a little loop. You can see they're gonna be pretty close. But because I want that weight to go down, you'll see the water's pretty turbulent. This is a nice little smooth one here. But when we get down here, we're gonna just be in these giant boulders. And we're just gonna hit it, and I want it to go in really quickly. And so I'm gonna have that on the bottom. My flies will both be above it, because in all that wash, the flies are going everywhere and the fish are moving around in those pools quickly. I like this. I don't use an indicator when I'm running boulders. I've just got the same thing what I use normally, but that little tiny bucket right here, pretty bright right now. I'll stay back a little bit. Got a little bit too much lead on there for that little soft bucket. I got 2 B shots on. I'm just watching my leader. I'm not watching the indicator because it's mostly out of the water. Just watching my leader. Looking for any little twitch to the leader. It's pretty bright for me to be right here, right now. In the evening, I could see where this would load up. You didn't have light all over you. But I want to hit that soft side where it's coming around there too. The fish have to be pretty opportunistic to live in that stuff, so they move quick for your fly. They've got to make a quick decision. So it goes through there quick, but the fish are used to seeing stuff go through real quick. So it's usually pretty obvious when you get a hit, even without an indicator. I mean, you just keep your line tight. Half the time you'll feel it because they run over and grab it. They might be 6-8 inches, a foot away from it and see it. So it's pretty obvious when you get one. You can see what I'm doing is I've got a relatively tight line, and I'm leading the fly without dragging it. I'm just enough tension downstream. That's a quick little run right there. Now, that water right behind that rock swirling like this. You can see the current. You got a current coming from this side, that way, and they're hitting that. You can see that lift. Low percentage shot, but I like that little soft spot behind it. Get my line up there. Let's go right up above here. I was hoping there'd be one dummy right here. I'm gonna move up just right here, that soft seam, hit that real quick and go down and hit the boulders. The surface current is always faster than the rest. It's the fastest flow. The bottom's always the slowest. This doesn't mean it's that much slower, it just means it's some slower. I like that bucket right in front of the rock. Not very bitey. Or a river of 10 billion boulders, I'm trying to find a perfect one. There's no such thing. So you just gotta fish what you get. So what you're gonna do is try to stay above that. They're not gonna be in this fast stuff right here, and they're not gonna be in that swirl right behind it. They're gonna be in that tail out and that little seam. And I'm gonna try to hit right on the edge of it, keep my line out, and just fish the tail of it. You're just looking for little tiny pockets in this boulder stuff. You see, I'm not letting my line hit the water. I'm just keeping the line up high. Little pushy. Move up to the next one. It's 100% feel. I can't even see my fly line until it gets below me. That last fish I felt it hit. Trying to fish that soft pocket on the other side of that. When you look at water like this, one of the things that holds fish or doesn't hold fish is too much gradient. And even though this is doing this all the way down, you look for the spots that are relatively level, and generally when they start their descent, you're not going to find fish on those descents. So always right as it's the level spot of this run. And so you put most of your effort on that. They're not going to hang in that stuff. There's just too much effort. Like that. Right at our feet. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, that's a good fish. I don't know what it is. I think it's a whitey. Oh, that's a good one though. Nice little rainbow. But if I'd have kept walking without throwing a cast in there, that's a fat little rainbow. He's full of something. He's been eating good. But really right at our feet. This is a beautiful little pocket. Super skinny on the left. Just enough depth on the right side, right where I just hit. So, great little feeding lane. Not too much gradient throughout the whole thing, so they could be anywhere on it. Like right there. You get a really good bite in a run like this, and you can get a dozen fish easy. Come here. Stop it. Recruiter. This is a perfect example about what this is all about. Got a beautiful little seam over here. I got super fast water between me and it. Keep your rod up. Throw one on this side of it. Keep your line right behind it. I'm surprised at that. Really, the key to really good nymph fishing of any sort is the ability to visualize and to understand it's completely about a good drift. It has nothing to do with if you're using an indicator, if you're using nothing, if you're hopper dropping, it's all about a good drift. In the shop, people are always, it's kind of a running joke that when somebody asks me, what do they eat? And I say a good drift. And it's partly fun, but partly it's the absolute truth. When you figure out a run, the first thing you gotta understand is you have to have a really clean drift. I want you to get a clean drift, but I want you to see that it's always not about mending. Mending's something we've been taught forever, like a dry fly, like it's gotta float perfect. It doesn't. On a clean little run like this especially, I may not have to mend once. The only time I'm gonna mend is to extend my drift. So I'm walking into the bottom of this run. We've already run this before. I love this. We're on the Madison because I think it's probably one of the best nymph rivers in the world. We don't have the best conditions. It's pretty bright and sunny. But what I'm going to do is I want you to see that it's about the rod angle, it's not about mending the line, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm starting at the bottom of this run, and I want you to see that I follow my line in front of the indicator. The only time I need to mend is actually when it gets below me to extend my drift. And I missed that fish. So right here, so I get it right here, I keep the line. The rod tip should be slightly in front of the indicator. Don't worry about it being downstream. Then I do one mend and I can fish that thing out way down there. I just come up here, I do a single roll up, my line's downstream of the indicator. Same as if you're not using one, it's all the same. Your rod tip's leading it, bouncing bottom, just like that. I'm in total control of the fly. I throw it out here, I lead it just a little bit in front of the indicator, pick my line up, just leading the indicator, not dragging it. Go like that, I just lift my rod like that and I completely extend the drift. I don't have to do any mending. Now here's the most common mistake. Instant it hits the water, mend, short little mend, short little mend. I've already brought my line in about 3 feet from where I wanted it, and I'm just going to get in position just like before. We're going to lead the indicator right through the run, no mending, nice. And right here I just simply move my line, extend my drift, lift slightly at the bottom, trying to see if you can entice anything to move up, you know, like it was emerging. So I'm going to give it about 10 drifts, right in close. Oh, there he is. Hey, little buddy. All right, I've told you this before. I think that's one of them whitefish. I've told you this before. Always look to see what fly it's on before you lose the fish. I'm hoping I lose that because it's a whitey. I don't want to touch him. But I was looking to see, and I saw it before he popped off. He was on the caddis, all right? Be observant because I just switched. That's like the third cast. Whoa. That's the third cast with the caddis, and the fish ate it. Not the target market, but it doesn't matter. Roll upstream. I'm gonna get a good, nice high rod angle, keeping as much line out of the water as I physically can. When it goes by me, I simply lift the line over. I don't flick it, I just lift the line over, extend the drift all the way out. Follow it with your rod tip, lift it slowly at the bottom, get your lift. It's called a lasering lift. It's just bringing the fly from the bottom slowly up through. You don't want to pull it fast. You just, as it goes down, you just tighten up your line, just let it move up. I don't like that drag-free word because it makes everybody think that they got to mend the thing. As long as you're not impeding your drift, if you're not moving your flies around without a purpose. If you want to move the fly, you want to lift it right there, that's one thing. But if you're doing it by mistake, that's a whole nother world. You see a lot of people want to sit here and mend this thing and fish it out at 10 miles down the river. I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, if it's a situation where you have to do it for a reason, but personally I like to always be angling, positioning myself to the fish. When you don't have any telltale signs that tells you there's a whole bunch of baetis hatching or a whole bunch of caddis, you got to kind of search it up. This is when you got to really start paying attention for anything that would tell you what you should be fishing. A lot of that's just, you know, base knowledge, knowing what bugs are hatching when. But the other thing it tells you that I've just run 20 casts without one eat. And right below here, I made 2 or 3 casts and got an eat. So you got to start hunting it up. You can't stay stagnant. You cannot run. I don't care how good it was yesterday. I don't care how good it was last week. Everything changes. Real bright day, you know, I'm not having any, it's fall, it's late September. I should have baetis hatching, but I don't. But it means that they're probably down there and they just haven't started yet. So start searching up your patterns. And I personally never run the same 2 patterns. I'm gonna have a midge or a caddis, a worm. I'll run a worm in here, run anything, but don't run the same 2 all the time. I mean, you got to learn what they're eating, and it's just a memory bank. You just keep adding that to your data bank, saying, okay, last time I was here. But be conscious of what should be hatching. Here I'm having to cast quite a ways, so I still set it. I try to set it with a reach cast. But if you have this, and this is a situation where I'm going to have to mend. So I'm throwing way up here, and I need that fast current, so I mend it right when it hits, as soon as I can. I'm not going to mend it a lot. I need it. I can almost stick it that close, high stick it. I can't have it dragging. Oh. So as soon as it hits the water, I give it its mend right there, because right there's the sweet spot. I'm still high sticking now, but because it's so far over there, and it's really skinny between me and the fish, I don't really want to move over on them. So I'm reaching up. I do my mend, you know, in the air to reach so it lands above the indicator if I can. Then I use this high rod to let it swing through there. I've got almost no shot on it all because I keep seeing fish boil up over there. And so they're taking baetis. So you see I reach my line up above. Whoa, you see that fish? I reach my line up above. When it first hits, there's more fish in this slot than I'm getting. See that fish? I don't have to do much right now. I'm getting a good drag-free drift right there. Oh! I think that same rock's faking me out. I actually will hold that back so it's so much more than just mending it all the time. Ooh, he's a tugger. Get around that rock. Oh. Oh, don't do that. He's trying to surf upstream and I'm trying to let him. As soon as he gets around that rock, I want him to come over here. Actually, just gonna lighten up on him just a little bit, let him swim upstream. Just relax and letting him swim up. Feels less pressure. Comes upstream. Get his head above him. Come over here. Here, little brownie. Voila. Oh, he's wrapped around. Got him lassoed. Oh, he's got flies everywhere. He wasn't getting up. He had 2 flies in him. Nice brownie. Okay, what I'm going to show you right here, I was going to show you underwater before Gene, the cameraman, producer, all around great guy, broke the camera, dunked the recorder underwater. It's all right. I think it had something to do with me losing his biggest fish of his life last night. But without the aid of that, what I want you to understand here is when you're fishing rocks, or really anything, when you have a rock like this, we've been talking about cushions, and that's when the water pumps into the front of this thing and it backs up, all right? So it pushes water this way, it comes around, it rips around the rock here, just like this one's doing, and it creates 2 eddies, or 2 seams, excuse me. They come around right here, and where I'd be standing right behind this rock is the negative I keep talking about, or the soft water. And what the fish will do is they'll hang on this side of that fast water because all that food's getting pushed around the rock. And so this is a real soft current because they're coming around. As this current comes around, it makes a circle. And it circles because it's pushing. It's a hydraulic going like that. But he's not going to be right tucked under this thing. I mean, he's not going to see anything except rocks. So he's going to move back here. Got this nice face to this rock. He can sit right here. No current whatsoever. He's just doing this. He's nicely camouflaged by the side of this one. Moves over and eats. That's all they do. They just do this. They sit there, wham, eat something. Or any structure. Doesn't have to be a rock. It could be a log. It could be a hump in the bottom, even the river bottom. It could be sandy bottom. If it's got a big hump to it like that, does the same thing. It makes that soft current. Even in a flat water situation where imagine there's just very little water over this. This little tiny depression right here, I keep talking about buckets and sweet spots. This would be a little bucket. If the water was flowing right here, this water's gonna push over like that, create a little hydraulic right here. This is a little sweet bucket. That's all it would take. If there was this much water over this, this would be a soft spot. It's a small depression. It's coming off of this, bumping. When it bumps, it starts rolling like that. This one picks it up again. This is a soft spot. It's a bucket. You're looking for those mini buckets every time you go fishing, no matter where you are. Don't care if you're on the East Coast where you got lots of gravel, Midwest where you got sand and different mixes, in the South where you've got that. You're still looking, don't care if it's rock, it could be anything. You're looking for those soft buckets, preferably with a color change, something that creates some sort of camouflage for the fish, but it could be as small as that and hold the biggest fish you've ever seen. I mean, it doesn't take much to hold the fish, just looking to conserve energy. We were talking about boulders holding fish and different things holding fish. This is a classic ledge. I mean, you can see it. It just fades from nothing. You can see right about where my indicator is. See the drop off? So we've got a soft seam out there the whole way. It's identical to having a boulder. The only difference is it's the color change that they're sitting on. And right where the fast water out there meets this slow inside, right on that seam is where you want to be fishing. I can assure you there's been a lot of people fish right through this. But when you watch them, they have a tendency to run out into the really big water. And after a few people have been through, the fish will move out into a little bit deeper cover, but they're always trying to get back to where they can feed. I'm going to walk up here, and two things can happen. The fish will either move out a little deeper, or they'll move up near those boulders up there. As I move up this bank, I'm off that little ledge there. Now, you've got everything working in this thing. You've got boulders, you got current speed changes, you've got color change, everything you could ask for. You got submerged boulders, which is pretty hard for a boulder to be floating. Right in the middle of that fast water. Oh, don't do that, you little bugger. I guarantee you all those guys walked past that seam right there because it's Mr. Fat Brown Trout sitting in there. That water's, what was that, 6-8 inches deep? Oh, he doesn't want to do that, does he? He wants to go underneath that rock. He may have gone it. He went under that rock and took my whole leader. There we go. Oh, he's a puller. He might be somebody. That's the second one out of this little tiny riff. Damn it. Just my luck today.